Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Sinnoh Cup in Pokemon Go Battle League. As you can probably guess by the name, only Pokemon from the Sinnoh region are allowed, which does make for quite the interesting meta. I was able to have a ton of success early on in the Cup with a triple ANTI-BASTIODON team featuring Empoleon on the lead, Shadow Gliscor as my safe switch, and Toxicroak as my closer, going on an 8-2 run. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and let's take a look at the triple ANTI-BASTIODON team in action. Hopping into the first match, leading into the Empoleon mirror. We definitely do not want to switch out of this lead. Our Toxicroak does have a way better Empoleon matchup, but our Shadow Gliscor has a terrible Empoleon matchup, so we definitely need to stay in. We're able to land the Hydro Cannon, and unfortunately we're not able to sneak through a Waterfall. I have a 1 attack IV Empoleon, so I'm not expecting to win many CMP ties, so instead we're just going to snipe the Empoleon with a counter from Toxicroak and deny them getting to that second charge move. Unfortunately, they do have Shadow Gliscor in the back of their own. To start with, I'm going to go for the Mud Bomb to hopefully lull them into a false sense of security, and then we're going to go for the Sludge Bomb, which hits significantly harder, hoping against hope for the no shield. Sludge Bomb does not get shielded, and it's a simultaneous KO. Opponent got greedy, tried to farm down, and Toxicroak actually able to force the simultaneous. And in the back, they have Cresselia, so their backline was exceedingly strong against Toxicroak, but fortunately, we were able to get some use out of the Toxicroak, and now our Shadow Gliscor is going to be able to clean up against their Cresselia. We do catch the first move, the Grass Knot, onto Empoleon, and from here, we have a very safe victory with the Shadow Gliscor, as we do significantly outpace the Cresselia, and we are going to be able to just spam out these Night Slashes, doing massive super effective damage. And even though Cresselia is a pretty bulky Pokemon, Shadow Gliscor does hit surprisingly hard. I have 2 shields, may as well use them. We are going to farm up to very close to the back-to-back, and at this point, this game is over. We are able to land the Night Slash, opponent just lets it through, and that is a good game. Alright, hopping into the next match, leading Empoleon into Bastiodon. This is what we love to see. Our whole team has the ability to hit Bastiodon for super effective damage, and they're staying in. So hopefully that means that they are pretty weak to Empoleon in the back, and we can get some good utility out of Empoleon. We land the Hydro Cannon, and they're going to be going for the Flamethrower. We definitely do survive the Flamethrower here, so I am going to let that through, and then we're just going to commit to the farm down, and we'll have to see what they bring in, and they bring in Gastrodon, and this is kind of scary. I can't really swap out of this because my Toxicroak doesn't have a great Gastrodon matchup either. So we're going to have to let the Empoleon go down. We bring in Shadow Gliscor, and we just have to hope that Toxicroak will have a good matchup in the back. Things have now gotten a little tricky. They have Togekiss in the back, and I have made a huge mistake. And unfortunately, this is going to be one of the 2 losses. Gastrodon is a Pokemon that we are ABA weak to, so unfortunately, I didn't really feel like I could switch out of the Empoleon, and because of that, 2-Shield Togekiss ends up sweeping me. Picking up a terrible lead in the next match, Empoleon into Lucario. We instantly safe switch into the Shadow Gliscor, and the opposing Lucario is not swapping out. We're able to call the power-up punch. I believe they were just short of the Shadow Ball, and honestly, we can just go straight Night Slash in this matchup, as the wing attacks do a significant amount of damage, and Lucario is glassy enough that the Night Slashes will as well. Second Night Slash, we're able to get both shields. Can we get to the third? We do, but we lose CMP. I'm more than willing to shield here, because honestly, giving up 1 shield means I'll still be able to have switch advantage and shield advantage, and at that point, I should be in a really good spot. Gliscor gets the boost, in comes Drapion. We just cannot get to the Night Slash, but we do have Toxicroak, and Toxicroak does have a very nice matchup against Drapion. No one move takes us out here. We can confidently let that go. They go for the crunch. They're at a second. Honestly, the second will start to get me low, so I am going to commit the shield. Opponent tries to catch. They have Gastrodon in the back, but we have Empoleon. Empoleon, this is a losing matchup for it, but the Waterfalls and the Hydro Cannon will add up quite a bit. This should hopefully be a CMP tie, which it is. The Earth Power will take out Empoleon, but the Gastrodon will get taken out by 1 counter. We have the Mud Bomb loaded, so at this point this game is over. Toxicroak going for the Mud Bomb, which is going to be doing more than enough to take out the Drapion, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Empoleon into Shadow Gliscor, an incredibly good lead. The opponent safe swaps into Frostlass, and honestly, this is still a very favorable matchup for Empoleon, which is good because honestly, my backline does not want to see Frostlass, so I definitely do need to stay in here. This is a tough baiting game. I decide to shield and we get avalanche baited. That is super unfortunate. We try and go for the extra. Unfortunately, we do not get our waterfall through as they throw. We shield up and we get baited a second time. I'm going to overfarm as much as I dare, and now we are going to be going for the Hydro Cannon. If they shield it, I'm going to aggressive swap Toxicroak, but they decide to let it go through. No way they're bringing back in the Gliscor, so we will get to see their third, and their third is a Shadow Magnezone, which is an incredibly cool pick. We will be able to force the shield with the Hydro Cannon, but my worry is them farming down and leaving with 2 wild charges. I'm going to try and get them low, then snipe with the Toxicroak, but the one counter doesn't kill. The Shadow Magnezone lives on very low HP. Wild Charge will one-shot Toxicroak, but Toxicroak had basically no play against the opposing Shadow Gliscor, so honestly, Toxicroak did its job there, basically just being a meat shield. We are going for the Night Slash. We do not get the boost. At this point, we just have to hope that our opponent does not get the boost either, and we should be in a very good spot. Night Slash comes through, no boost from the opponent, and we are going to be able to win this match as we will be able to reach the Night Slash. Opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. Hopping into the next match, picking up a very nice lead in Empoleon into Drifblim. Much like the Frostlass matchup, it is favorable, but if the opponent is able to successfully shield bait, things can get a little dicey. They are able to get the extra Hex, so they didn't play to a CMP tie on the Shadow Ball, and we're able to get our waterfall back through as they throw. This is a tough call. I let it go, and we correctly call the Icy Wind, and this puts us in a really, really good position in this match. As we are going to shield up, they do Shadow Ball and then overfarm by quite a bit. They try and catch onto their own Empoleon, and we are going to bring in Toxicroak. Unfortunately, they are just able to outpace us since I was slightly slow on my swap, so I'm actually going to shield this up, and then we're going to farm all the way down, as we should be able to leave with quite a bit of energy to threaten the Drifblim. Drifblim is normally a terrible matchup for Toxicroak, but at this low of health, honestly, a Sludge Bomb will threaten. We are going for the Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb should just about be taking it out here, which it does. What do they have in back? They have their own Toxicroak, and this game is over. We are going to be able to get the shield or do big damage if it lands, which it does. And from here, we are going to bring in the Shadow Gliscor just as the opponent decides to rage quit. So the triple Anti-Bastiodon team getting quite a few rage quits. Hopping to the next match. Another really nice lead in Frostlass. Again, we are going to want to stay in. I'm going to overfarm, trying to get the extra waterfall, and we're able to get it. This is a tough call. We let it go, and we get Shadow Balled. The opponent tries to catch on a Drapion, and we are going to bring in our Toxicroak. Toxicroak does do quite well in this matchup, but if they get the Crunch debuff, which unfortunately they do this time, things can get a little dicey. So I am going to be going for the Mud Bomb. We do get the shield, and unfortunately, that Drapion is still fairly healthy, so if I want to counter down, which is now my goal, I'm going to have to commit both shields. Honestly, we'll leave with quite a bit of energy, and that Frostlass should be low enough from the waterfalls that a Mud Bomb might actually threaten. So you know what? That is the new plan. We are going to counter all the way down. We've expended both shields on Toxicroak, and I'm expecting to see that Frostlass. The Frostlass is below half health, so these Mud Bombs will do a solid chunk of damage here. Mud Bomb lands, and I was very worried they were getting to another move, so I opt to throw. I probably could have countered down, but I got a little worried about them reaching a move, and they have their own Toxicroak in back, and we have Shadow Gliscor, and at this point, the opponent just stops tapping. They've seen the writing on the wall. This game is over. Hopping into the next match, leading Empoleon into Bastiodon. You absolutely love to see it. They throw one Smackdown and they bring in Drifblim. Unfortunately, my backline doesn't really like to see Drifblim, so I do need to stay in. But here's where the flexibility of having 3 Pokemon that can hit Bastiodon for super effective is incredibly nice. As anywhere Bastiodon aligns on my team, they're not really going to have a great matchup. We're able to successfully call the Icy Wind, and now we're going for Hydro Cannon number 2. They do not give me the second shield, and they go down. Gallade is their final Pokemon, and here I arguably make a pretty big misplay. What I should have done was stayed in with Empoleon and tried to reach a Drill Peck and not given up Swap. Because had my opponent switched into Bastiodon instantly, there may have been an end game where the Gallade was aligned with the Toxicroak, and that would have been a lot of trouble for me. Whereas now, they end up taking some damage before swapping. Shadow Gliscor is still able to reach an Earthquake and get the shield. And from here, Toxicroak is in a commanding position to finish out this match since the Gallade is so low on HP. we can safely tank the first. Not worried about that whatsoever. That's a flamethrower. And now Toxicroak is going to be able to land the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb does not KO, but will be able to get them very, very low. We're able to farm down, and now from here, we bring in Empoleon. We're able to waterfall down the Gallade, and that is a good game. All right, hopping into the next match, we have Empoleon into Gastrodon, and we are actually ABA weak to this. So both Empoleon and Toxicroak do lose to this, so this is unfortunately a core breaker for us. So how I like to play this out is I'm actually going to stay in the lead. We are going to go for the Hydro Cannon, and we get the shield, and I'm actually just going to play for shield advantage, kill it with the Shadow Gliscor, and then hope that Toxicroak can sweep in the back. The Gastrodon is staying in, going for a body slam, going for body slam number 2. And this works out quite well for me because if I'm able to get the Mud Slap user out of the way and give Toxicroak a shield advantage, I'm hopeful that it's going to be able to sweep. They decide to let the Night Slash go. They have Munchlax in the back. We are going to bring in Toxicroak. And if you notice, the opponent is not switching out, which tells me my guess is there's probably a Bastiodon back there. They go for the Hail Mary Bulldoze. We shield it up. Opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. Hopping to the next match, picking up a terrible lead in Empoleon into Lucario. I'm going to instantly save switch into the Shadow Gliscor, well, as soon as lag will let me, and unfortunately we are immediately punished with a Froslass switch in. I'm able to hit them for super effective damage with the Night Slash, which is very nice, but unfortunately they do reach a move before I reach 2, and if I shield they just farm me down, so I can't really afford to shield. So I am going to let that go and instead use this as an opportunity to get ahead on energy with Empoleon, because hopefully I should get close to a Hydro Cannon by farming down. I have to tank whatever this is, even if it's a Shadow Ball. They just got to an Avalanche, which is very nice. And from here, I'm going to throw one Waterfall, reach the Hydro Cannon, which should be shielded since Lucario is very glassy. And then I'm going to trust in Toxicroak up a shield. We bring in Toxicroak, and unfortunately this game we're just hard countered. Not a lot we can do here, as not being able to win switch, and yeah, more or less, not a whole lot we can do. I'm not going to shield because I don't really, at this point, there's not really anything I can do. I can throw as many resisted Sludge Bombs as I want to, but it's just not going to add up to do enough damage. And from here, yeah, this game is over. I decided to play it out just to see how a zero shield scenario would look. And as you can see, we're able to get the Drifblim fairly low, but they leave with a ton of energy, they Shadow Ball, and now they very safely bring in Lucario to farm me down, and that is a good game. So unfortunately, if I'm mon for mon hard countered, not a whole lot I can do. Alright, hopping into the final match, and we have another core breaker in Shadow Abomasnow. This matchup is actually not as bad as one may think, specifically because Empoleon actually wins the 0 and the 1 shield. So you don't have to shield the first one, because you do survive it, and they bait. Now we are in a really good spot, as honestly, I don't really want to commit shields in this matchup. I would rather get a shield advantage of my own, and then farm down the Abomasnow with Toxicroak. And here, since they overfarm a ton, we're able to get both shields. So at this point, I don't even care about my Empoleon. I'm willing to let it die, but they bait again. The opponent keeps trying to get the shields, and we are refusing to shield anything. Again, I'm going to let this go. They Energy Ball me finally to take me out. I bring in my Toxicroak, and they have Lucario. So my opponent is core broken by Toxicroak. This is just a power-up punch. We don't have to shield it. We're able to farm down. They bring back in Abomasnow, and they're able to reach a move. At this point, I'm just going to shield everything. So we're just going to shield that, farm down. What do they have in back for me? They have their own Toxicroak. We have the back-to-back Mud Bombs loaded. We are going for the first. First one lands. We're going to bring in the Shadow Gliscor just to show that we had it. We farm down, and that is a good game. All in all, I had an absolute blast running the triple anti-Bastiodon team in the Sinnoh Cup. As I mentioned, I made it more just to absolutely destroy Bastiodons, but I did have a ton of success with it, going 8-2. So if you're looking for a team to try and you happen to have the Pokemon, it's definitely a team I'd recommend trying out, as I was able to have a decent amount of success with it in the 2800s. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. And one last thing, I did finally release merch. I will have a link to it in the description, so if that's something you're interested in, definitely go check it out. Again, link in the description. Thank you guys so much, and until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.